Hi, I'm Greg Turnaway, and welcome to this Mitsubishi product presentation video for the all-new Mitsubishi Mirage and Mirage G4. Today we'll take a look at all the great new innovations that the Mirage has to offer, what they mean for your subcompact customer, for you, and for the Mitsubishi brand as a whole. As an entry-level vehicle, the Mirage may be the very first car your customers ever owned. This is an incredible opportunity to make a lasting impression on them, not only with everything that the Mirage has to offer, but throughout outstanding customer service. This in turn fosters long-term loyalty to you, to your dealership, and the Mitsubishi brand. If the purchase experience is positive when it comes time for the vehicle service or years down the road when they're in the market for a new vehicle, their first thoughts will be of you and the Mitsubishi, especially since the Mitsubishi is the only brand they've ever really known. Of course, the opposite is true if the purchase experience is not so positive. So you can see why the Mirage is critical to improving loyalty and future business. More than that though, the Mirage is important for the brand as it showcases our commitment to provide quality built vehicles with the full backing of our Built Better, Back Better warranty. It's chock full of the latest innovation technologies, many which are surprising for the segment, like Apple CarPlay or Android Auto as examples. And like the rest of our lineup, the Mirage offers a ton of value at a competitive price that's in line with segment expectations. So with that said, let's take a closer look at what the new Mirage has to offer and how it's been designed to provide your customer with an ownership experience they will appreciate every time they get behind the wheel of their new Mitsubishi. Take a step back and look at the all-new Mirage hatchback. With three price lines, the ES, SE, and SEL here in the studio with me today, at an MSRP ranging of just over $12,500 to $18,000 and change, there's no question that this is an entry-level vehicle. But it certainly doesn't look like it. The new style of the Mirage is not only more sophisticated, but also sportier than the prior model. This was an area that we knew we needed a little help, as more than 25% of customers who shopped Mirage but ultimately bought another brand indicated that the style of the previous model was too bland. But it's important to note that changes weren't simply made to enhance the appearance of the Mirage. This is a true form meets function story. Now don't get me wrong, there are a lot of enhancements that certainly dial up the style. For example, Mirage will come with two new colors, Sunrise Orange to attract the more extroverted buyer, and Wine Red for the more conservative customer. It also features a new hood design, a defined grille opening with chrome surround, an integrated front bumper and lower air dam, a double chrome wishbone accent to highlight the available front fog lamps, available HID headlamps, and available 15-inch alloy wheels. At the rear you'll find a new bumper, new air dams at the wheel wells, a new spoiler design, and LED combination tail lamps. There's no question these are premium touches, with many of them not common for the segment. But now consider that the front end is sleeker. The bumpers are lighter in weight, the new hood and rear spoiler designs channel the wind more efficiently. Guess what? These changes provide better aerodynamics and improved fuel economy. The available HID headlamps not only provide a brighter, wider light to enhance safety when driving at night, but like the LED combination rear tail lamps, they look fantastic and rather unique in the subcompact segment. Now, before I talk any more about the features of the new Mirage, I want to stop here for a second and talk a little bit on why it's important to emphasize the functional aspects of these changes with your customer. Fuel economy is the top purchase reason, not just for the Mirage, but for the entire subcompact segment. This is probably a great time to tell your customer, with many of the enhancements we've made, not just with the changes to the exterior, but with some of the technical components under the hood, the Mirage is the most fuel-efficient gas-powered vehicle in Canada. Think about that for a second. There are more than 250 gas-powered nameplates for sale in Canada today, and the Mirage is the most fuel-efficient one of the lot. In a segment where 44% of customers and an overwhelming 71% of Mirage owners are buying for fuel economy, this is a huge advantage. In fact, with the CVT transmission, combined fuel economy for the city and highway driving is rated at a fuel-sipping 6 liters per 100 kilometers, and only 5.5 per 100 kilometers on the highway. That means you could travel the entire length of the Trans-Canada Highway, coast to coast, on approximately 12 tanks of gas. At an average cost of 90 cents per liter, that works out to under $400. I think a road trip is in order. The best part is our main competitors don't even come close. The Nissan Micra and Toyota Yaris with automatic transmissions only achieve a 6.6 liters per 100 kilometers on the highway, and the Chevy Spark sits at a 6.7 combined. Based on NRCan, or National Resource Canada calculations, driving a Mirage will save you approximately $316 in fuel per year compared to the Micra, $200 compared to the Yaris, and $130 compared to the Spark. That's a big cost of ownership savings, another top purchase reason. Now, I mentioned that there were some technical changes under the hood that helped us achieve this best in Canada fuel rating. So let's take a closer look at Mirage's performance. The Mirage continues to be powered by our 1.2-liter double overhead cam MIVAC 3-cylinder engine, which now produces 78 horsepower. That's 4 more than the previous generation Mirage, and 74 pound-feet of torque. That additional bump in horsepower is achieved thanks in part to the new roller-type camshaft compared to the traditional non-roller type style used before. If you think back to your high school physics class, we know that sliding friction forces are higher than rolling friction forces. Think of pushing a box across the floor versus a chair on roller wheels. With the addition of the roller-type camshaft, essentially we're reducing friction loss at the cam lobe, resulting in less energy required to operate the engine, which is then therefore captured as engine output. By the way, less friction means the roller-type camshafts potentially last longer, so they are less likely need replacing, reducing the cost of ownership. Great news, as we've already seen this is a top purchase reason. Now I know what you're thinking. Even with the improved horsepower compared to the main competitive set, on paper we're underpowered. And you'd be right. I can't argue with the paper specs. But I'd like you to consider the following. Subcompact customers are not buying these vehicles for engine performance. It doesn't rank as a top purchase reason, but fuel economy does. And we've already talked about how the Mirage and its 1.2-liter 3-cylinder engine with CVT is the most fuel-efficient gas-powered vehicle, not just in the segment, but in Canada. It's important to note that the Mirage is considerably lighter than our competitors. In fact, the only car that weighs less is the Smart 4.2. This means that the Mirage requires far less power to realize a more inspired performance. So unlike the competition, you can feel confident telling your customers the Mirage certainly does not drive like its paper engine specs. In fact, it's a very fun car to drive. Personally, I've put all the subcompacts through their paces, and I believe the Mirage's performance is head and shoulders above Micra, Yaris, and Spark. This is partly because of the 2-stage sub-gearbox found in our CVT transmission. What it does is it expands the gear ratio range achieved by the traditional CVT, allowing the Mirage to maximize power at lowest engine RPMs whenever possible, resulting in an improved dynamic while maintaining incredible fuel economy. The new Mirage also benefits from bigger brakes, enhanced steering calibration, and improved handling through various suspension adjustments, including optimized spring rates and dampening forces of the shock absorbers, just to name a few. All this said, the important takeaway here is the Mirage needs to be driven. If your customer is concerned about the on-paper lack of power, make sure you take them on a test drive so they can feel exactly how well the Mirage performs. It also allows them to experience the vastly improved interior of the Mirage. Let's take a look. All right, here we are inside the Mirage, and I want you to pay particular attention to the fit and finish. Overall, the new Mirage has a more cohesive and well thought out interior. The steering wheel has been redesigned with upgraded materials, high-quality leather, and piano black accents for the SE and SEL, with the addition of thumb rests. The rest of the interior, including the shifter knob and panel, have been redesigned with higher quality materials across all price lines, with piano black and chrome accents tastefully found throughout the SE and SEL. The dash features semi-high contrast meters to provide a cleaner, brighter, and more upscale sporty look and feel. And although the automatic climate control system is standard on SE and SEL, we've also redesigned the available manual air conditioning system for the ES Plus package, with 3 chrome detail knobs for a more modern appearance. The seats have also come a long way in terms of how they look and how they feel. This is important because 20% of customers who chose not to purchase the prior model Mirage indicated that it simply wasn't comfortable. That's not the case here. The seat padding has been upgraded across all price lines, with a softer padding for the seat cushion, while the firmness of the bolster padding have been increased to provide much more lateral support. Like I said earlier, it's time for a road trip. And as you can see, the seat fabric has been enhanced with contrast stitching on the SE and SEL, which are of course heated in the front to keep your customers toasty during our chilly winter months. The same goes for the power side view mirrors, which are not only heated but fold to keep them safe in tight parking spaces. They also feature integrated turn signal lamps so everyone is aware of your intentions. Now for the piece de resistance, For your SEL customers, they can enjoy Apple CarPlay and Android Auto systems as standard equipment. This is significant because the Mirage will be the first Mitsubishi vehicle in Canada to offer either system. And remember, the Mirage is our entry-level vehicle. This kind of innovation is usually reserved for more expensive vehicles, which is why most of the segment competitors don't offer it. Both systems feature voice control. Yes, Siri is there for Apple CarPlay and an intuitive, familiar app-based user interface. Did I mention the display audio screen was 6.5 inches? Your customers will appreciate their larger screen size when using navigation or the standard rear view camera. By the way, the Nissan Micra, the top-selling vehicle in our competitive set, truly lives up to its name in this case, with a screen that's only 4.3 inches small and no Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. The same can be said of Yaris, which features a smaller screen and again no Apple CarPlay or Android Auto integration. Now, speaking of size, this is a huge point in our favor. Let's go lift the hatch and check it out. We know subcompact customers expect a smaller vehicle, but the reality is people still have stuff and therefore need some space to put it in. This is where the Mirage excels, with 487 liters of available cargo volume. To put this in perspective, for those of you who went backpacking after high school, you would know that those big Explorer-style backpacks hold about 80 liters of stuff. With the rear seat in place, you can fit an entire extra backpack in the Mirage compared to the Nissan Micra, and more than 2 of them compared to the Chevrolet Spark. I bring this up because the buyers in this segment have identified the size of those 2 competitors, or should I say lack thereof, as primary rejection reasons for not purchasing them. The Mirage, on the other hand, was not rejected for these reasons. Instead, we know customers are buying Mirage and subcompacts in general for fuel economy, value for money, price or cost to buy, reliability and dependability, total cost of ownership, and warranty. These are the top purchase reasons, and the new Mirage has got them all covered. We've already talked about fuel economy and how the Mirage is the most fuel-efficient gas-powered vehicle in Canada. We've talked about cost of ownerships with the savings realized through gas efficiency and longer-lasting components like roller-type camshafts. I would also suggest that given the simplicity of the engineering in the vehicle as a whole, the other wear items such as front disc and rear drum brakes, the straightforward suspension design with the front strut and rear torsion beam, and smaller wheels and tires at 14 or 15 inches depending on the price line, items like these ensure that the vehicle can be more affordable for customers to maintain during their ownership experience. This, of course, is further reinforced by the Mitsubishi Built Better Back Better warranty coverage, which helps offset potential costly repairs as the vehicle ages. But beyond cost of ownership, warranty is a big consideration for subcompact customers, as they have identified it as its own distinct top purchase reason. With our 10-year 160,000 kilometer powertrain limited warranty, our 5-year 100,000 kilometer new vehicle limited warranty, and our 5-year unlimited kilometer roadside assistance package, our competition doesn't even come close. It also speaks to how confident we are with the quality, reliability, and dependability of the Mirage, which just so happens to be another top purchase reason for the segment. Which leaves price and value for money. Well, we know we're very competitive with our MSRPs. In fact, the base Yaris is more than $2,000 more than the Mirage. And I think based on what we talked about today, there's no question the Mirage is jam-packed with value. We've seen how the SEL price line has innovative features that are very rare for the segment. Things like HID headlamps, Apple CarPlay, and Android Auto. But you don't need to go to the top price line to see that we offer much more value than the competition, especially if we add the ES Plus package into the mix. For $1,300 MSRP, customers get a new design manual air conditioning system with Micron air filtration, Bluetooth with streaming audio and USB input with voice control, power door locks with remote keyless entry and panic alarm, power rear windows with auto up-down driver's window, and steering wheel mounted audio controls. If we compare the ES Plus package to the Yaris CE, the only item on that list Yaris offers is Bluetooth, and they charge almost $1,000 more. So it's safe to say we have value for money locked up. Everything we talked about today so far has been focused on the new Mirage hatchback. But what about the new Mirage G4 sedan? This is a real exciting addition to our lineup. It will allow us to capture those subcompact customers who don't particularly care for hatchback body style. Believe it or not, they do exist. Great news. Most of everything we talked about today with the hatchback applies to the Mirage G4, which comes in 2 price lines. The Mirage G4 ES is comparable to the ES hatchback with Plus package, featuring Bluetooth, power windows, remote keyless entry, and much more. And the Mirage G4 SEL matches up, as you would expect, with the SEL hatchback, with many of the same features included as standard equipment, such as Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, heated front seats, automatic climate control, a 6.5-inch display audio with rear view camera, 15-inch alloy wheels, and leather-wrapped steering wheel and shifter knob, just to name a few. Where we see the biggest difference is clearly in the body style, with an extra 510 millimeters in length to accommodate the space required for the dedicated trunk. So as you can see, the all-new Mirage and Mirage G4 have been designed with the subcompact customer in mind, improving on an already compelling value proposition that will capture the hearts and minds of today's consumer. They are proof that sometimes big things do indeed come in small packages. Remember though, the Mirage is more than just an entry-level vehicle. It represents a big opportunity for you and the Mitsubishi brand. So make sure you take the time to explain how the Mirage, jam-packed with value, innovation, and best in Canada fuel efficiency, will enhance their daily driving experience. Of course, the best way to illustrate this point is to take them out on a proper test drive, so they can experience it for themselves. I'm not just talking about a quick drive around the block. Take them through the neighborhood so they can experience how it turns, how it stops. Let them feel how comfortable the seats really are, or how cool and intuitive Apple CarPlay or Android Auto is. It'll go a long way in helping your customer to get to know Mirage, to get to know you, and to get to know Mitsubishi. Thanks for joining me today.